Start recording. What's up, everybody? This is Triple M. I'm PJ Roche, and today I'm talking with Maddie. What's up?
Hello.
So, tell the listeners about what you do.
I manage artists. So I kind of help them get all the growth and exposure they need to kind of benefit them in a very, very, very professional way. So I'll try to get connections with people and try to set different things up, try to get them some exclusive stuff, set them up for interviews, all that kind of stuff.
And how are you usually doing that? If I was a manager and I really wanted to get my artist an interview, what is the first thing you do when you want to get an artist in an interview?
I mean, for me, I try to be friends with them first, because I feel like having a good personal connection is very important, especially when you're in the music industry. Personality is everything. So it's if you have a good personality and you're very easy to talk to and open up to and kind of connect with, then you're more likely to get better opportunities from that person. You know what I mean? So it's usually I try to be friends with them, and then I'll kind of be all right, well, now let's talk a little bit of business, and then I'll kind of ask what they can do for me, and then we'll just go from there.
So the first thing that you do is usually, I'm guessing this would be on Instagram, right? You just send them a DM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much just DM them, just be like, hey, I manage so-and-so. Here's a link to one of their best songs. I really am interested in doing business with you in some sort of way, so please contact me back if you're interested. And usually they'll contact me back and ask kind of what I'm looking for, and then I'll just describe everything that I'm kind of looking for, and then they'll tell me what they're willing to do for me. And sometimes it's for a price, sometimes it's not. Most of the time it's not, but sometimes it is. But I'm willing to help, you know what I mean? If it's that good of an opportunity.
So is being a manager what you plan on doing for the rest of your career? I mean, is it your favorite thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I love managing people, especially because all the artists I manage, I'm actually really good friends with too. I have a really close connection to all of them. So it's a lot easier because it's I'm talking to friends and I'm not professional all the time.
Were you friends with them before you managed?
Some of them, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I Hate K is one of the artists I manage. And he was actually we DM'd a few times, and then he was like, hey, so do you like music? And I was like, yeah, I love it. And at this time I was working for a music promo page. So I was like, yeah, I love music. And he was like, how would you like to try to be my manager? And I was like, I've never done that. And he was like, exactly. So let's give it a go. And just from there, it's just he's now one of my best friends. I see him in person too a lot. So it's not just over Instagram. It's I get to physically see him and help him out and get him stuff that's local around here. I'm trying to get a brand deal with one of the clothing companies that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm trying to get him to be one of the main people and have them promote his music at the same time too. So it's it kind of depends on who you know.
Yeah, well, the reason I started saying something right there is because that's almost exactly how it happened with me. I was with Crave. Yeah, we were sitting down together, and he said, I'm going to be a rapper. And I said, okay, I'll be your manager. I didn't know anything about the music industry, didn't have any.
You kind of just have to learn as you go.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to hand you everything. Me, I got lucky because the people who got me into this industry was Loser and Koshi, because I'm in Long Beach with them. So I met them in person, and from there they kind of introduced me to the music world. And from there I just made a bunch of friends, made a bunch of connections, met a lot of really good people, and I'm glad I met them, because I wouldn't really know what to do with my life if it wasn't for them,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That personal connection, that's definitely, if there's anything you need as a manager, it's definitely that. So what are your plans for developing them? What do you want to do with them? How do you want to move them further?
Right now I actually have I own a collective.
Yeah.
And it's Psycho Cult Collective, and it has all the artists that I manage in there, and then it has a few extra people. I have some producers in there, like RIP Azure. He's one of them in there, and he's signed as an artist, but he also will do like producer work for us, and he'll help out. And then you have like the other ones who know how to do like cover art or have like a little bit of other connection or know really cheap promo. Like we all kind of just help each other grow and expand. But for me, it's kind of like I'm trying to get the social media kind of running up and everything like that with them.
Yeah.
And so hopefully once we get everything like up and running, then hopefully we can get connections from the actual collective itself and not like from us personally. But like with the collective, what I'm trying to do is just kind of like help every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know, because that's all I want for all of them. I want to see everyone succeed.
That's also another good trait of a manager. But I notice you're a very friendly person, and as you said earlier, you definitely are easy to talk to. I remember when I first DM'd you, it was just like you were already my friend, you know?
Yeah.
So
Because like I'm the type of person that believes like hate and like rudeness doesn't get you anywhere. Like it's always about like spreading love and kindness to everybody.
Definitely.
Because like, you know what I mean? Like hating, it won't get you anywhere. But if you're kind to people and you just constantly support them and you give them like genuine advice and you help them, like not only do you have like a really solid friendship if they do the same thing for you, but you also grow as like a person and you learn kind of how to tell different things.
Yeah, that was well said. And it shows because you have so many people, it seems like, doing stuff for free. I mean,
yeah, a lot of people do.
People do not enjoy doing things for free, and they don't do that for everybody. So if you're friendly, then you can really get whatever you want.
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of how it is, especially because like I'm one of the only girls in the industry, in the community. So, you know, you get all those guys who try to get something out of you too. You know, like it's not really fun because like at first a lot of people didn't take me seriously because they're like, oh, it's just a girl. And they're like, oh, she's kind of a hot girl. And that's kind of like all they saw me as. Like, I cannot even tell you, like, the amount of, like, these SoundCloud artists, like, in my DMs. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to escape it. But it's, like, once I started, like, establishing myself kind of, like, as a manager, everyone started taking me really seriously. And now people do genuinely have that respect for me. And it wasn't easy to get, but, you know, I have it now. And that's really good.
Like the saying, be so good they can't ignore you, you know? Either.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to disrespect you, you can't really do much about it except get better.
Yeah. And like I've had my beef with people. Like I'm not even gonna lie, you know, some people I've had issues with in the industry, some people I still do have issues with, but mostly it's like I don't have beef with anyone, but if I don't like you, then I just won't talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I make it very known, and I'm also like a very forgiving. So like if I've done you wrong in the past or if you've done me wrong, like I'll still hit you up and be like, hey, can we talk about it? Like, can we try to move past it?
That's a good policy. And actually, sometimes if you're smart about it, I mean, you can turn those beefs into new connections because if you're being a nice person, then obviously someone that has a problem with you is not a very good person and is bound to have problems with other people, and you can bond with those people over that.
Exactly.
That's happened a few times for me where, like, I remember one case. I was talking to some guy who just promotes music, and we kind of became friends because we had both dealt with this really evil company.
Oh God, I've had to deal with one of those.
yeah. Those are different stories, but the company had tried to take all the stuff that he did, everything like that, and we just talked about it because we both realized that they had tried to do the same thing to both of us.
Oh God.
And neither of us were really at a loss because we had beef with the owner of that company, right? They're not a good person, and instead it was more positive than negative because we bonded.
Yeah. it's like, you know, you bond over some of the people that you don't really like.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, honestly, like, I'll be like, yeah, like, sometimes I'll be really bold, and, like, if I'm, like, if we're on the subject of, like, people we don't really like or something, I'll be like, yeah, well, you know, I don't really fuck with so-and-so that much, and someone will be like, oh my god, me either, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna talk to you, because now I want to know why you don't like that person, if it's similar to what they did to me. Like,
yeah, definitely.
and, like, that's happened with, like, a few people too, where it's like the similar situations with the same person, and I'm like, wow, so they haven't changed. That tells me a lot about who they really are.
Yeah, I mean, it just if you stay good, if you stay friendly, then you really never have to worry about yourself being the problem, and you can rest assured that the people that have problems with you are not going to do well, because they're not good people.
You kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
And
So,
like, how cheesy it is. It's so cheesy to say that, but it does a lot for you.
yeah. And sometimes I'll be honest, you know, it's kind of fun to mock someone by being nice to them if they're annoying you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I do it sometimes. I can't even lie.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a problem. Like,
it's a little guilty pleasure sometimes. Like, sometimes you like to piss them off a little bit just by being a little extra nice. Like,
yeah.
if they're mad about you being nice, then they're the one who has the issue.
So do you have any more advice? I mean, you've already given a lot for someone that wants to do exactly what you do. You know, how would they get into your position?
Try to stay friends with everybody, because sometimes if you have bad blood with one person, then it spreads to multiple people, and then you end up having like a whole group of people that doesn't fuck with you and says a bunch of shit and does like all this negative shit for you, like, for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's better just to like be nice to everyone and just try to stay positive the best you can.
Yeah. And in terms of building that collective, how should they do that? I mean, obviously it's helpful when you can, I mean, this is something I'm obsessed with, vertical integration.
Yeah, vertical integration is actually a really good way.
I'm obsessed with that ever since I read a book about Rockefeller, you know, richest guy ever. You can't have like a horizontal monopoly, but you can have a vertical monopoly, which is really
cool. So it's like I kind of like got that going a little bit. But like, you know, like if you're building a collective and like you want to like have it do good on socials, like specifically too, then just like try to get the engagement up. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's like going live once in a while just when you're bored, or posting like a vlog on like the Insta TV, like, you know, just doing something to kind of like get people more interested and like to know the personal side of the artist. Because honestly, like for upcoming artists, like people want to know your personal side too.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it is all about the music and everything, but the music doesn't mean shit when you're a bad person.
Yeah, you can never go wrong.
Yeah.
If almost never go wrong if you're putting out content.
If you have like a good personality and a good heart and you make good music, then you're almost guaranteed to succeed. How big, that's up to you, and how hard you work. Because the harder, like, you know, like the more you improve and the harder you work, then the more opportunities are going to come your way. But it also takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And if you're not very patient, then you're going to be very upset with your progress a lot. And like sometimes I even see that with some of my artists. Like they'll get very like frustrated. They'll be like, the song didn't do as good as I want it to. I'm like, okay, then figure out maybe kind of why people didn't fuck with it, fix it, and put out something similar and see if that gets better engagement. And if it does, then you're headed on the right path.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about how you present yourself as a person and as an artist.
Yeah. Thank you, Maddie.
Of course.
I'm sure I'll have a lot to clip for Instagram from this episode.
Perfect.
All right. This was really fun. You have a great day, Maddie.
You too.
All right. Let's keep in touch. All right.